And I am back. This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. And if this is your first time listening, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been listening to me before, welcome back. You're probably listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or you're looking at me on the tube of you. My socials are Facebook page, Dick and Conversation Podcast, my YouTube channel, subscribe, share, download, is Dick and Conversation Podcast. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. And my email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. I'm on Blue Sky. So you can also find me on dickandconvo.bsky.social. Um, I I'm going to talk about a topic tonight about situationship or relationship. And this came from a conversation I was having with a friend. Everybody needs that one friend that's of the opposite sex. Well, I got several of the opposite sex, but everybody needs that one friend that they just bounce ideas off of, or you just have the conversation. Just, hey, how you doing? How's, things going? What's going on in your life? Well, I have a few that I do that with. And I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he made a joke. Simple little joke makes me laugh. And I said, well, I can never date you because you're in a relationship. And he says, no, Alyssa, I'm not. I said, oh, yeah, you are. I said, you're in a relationship. Let me put it this way. Someone's in a relationship with you, whether you're in there with them or not. And he says, why you say that? I said, you really don't know that, do you? He said, no, because I'm not in one. Go Lions. I said, but you are. And he says, why you say that? I said, because based on some of the things that you've told me, the friend that you have that you view as a friend views you as their boyfriend. And he thought about it like, nah. And that's when it dawned on me. Men don't really realize when women are in relationships with them because they're not in a relationship with women. And he and I got into this deep, deep conversation. Now, I'm a commuter from a job. I commute from home to work and back and forth. So I had a little time that day. So I was like, okay, let's dive into this. And based on some of the things that he had told me about the young lady that he's friends with, I said, she's viewing this more than you are. And he says, I don't see how. I said, this is why a lot of us, myself included, have been in this situation where you are in a situationship and you don't realize that you are thinking you're in a relationship, but you're not. You're in a situationship. You think that you're in a relationship because, by all accounts, the things that you guys do together, it looks like a relationship until you see what that man is like in a real relationship. So I went on to tell him, I said, here's the thing. I said, this is why a lot of women think that they're in relationships when they're really just in situationships. So I said, think about this. I said, you and your friend, or you and other women in your past, has this happened to you? He says, okay, go ahead. I said, you all go to dinner. It's like, yeah, you talk every day. Yeah, you text all the time. Yeah, they go to your house. You come to their house. It was like, yeah. And I said, y'all might be getting it in. Maybe, yeah. That looks like a relationship. By all accounts, by most women, that looks like a relationship. We go to dinner, we talk every day, we text twice a week. I'm at his house. The other 2 days, he's at my house, and we talk all the time. We're good friends. We tell each other everything. He's met my kids. I met his kids. It looks like a relationship. You think that. I've been in that situation where I thought I was in one for years. I met his children, I met his family, I would go over his house. several times a week. He could come to my house. Hell, we could pop up at each other's house. And by all accounts, that looks like a relationship. We go out to dinner, we went to games, we go out of town, we took trips out of town. That looks like a relationship. But in the end, it was not. And I finally got it after it was over. Did we ever have the big breakup talk? No. You know why? Because it wasn't at the breakup. We was never together. It was a situationship. I could, like I said, I could go to his house and anytime. So naturally, you thinking if I can come to this man's house anytime, I've met his family, we've gone out of town, things like that. Yeah, we in a relationship. But that's because I did not see what he's like when he's really in a relationship. And I've talked to a few men because I have my little gold source of men that I love to go to and talk to because it started to make my mind go back to some of the people that I've known and how their relationships were, or even hell, some of these marriages were. And I discovered there is a difference when a man or even a woman is being loved on and they have love for the person that they're with versus when they love a person. It looks different. I know of one situation where this man bought purses and jewelry. They went on trips together. They lived together. But looking back on it, she loved him. She was loving on him and he was receiving the love. He wasn't rejecting her now. He wasn't rejected. They were like together and had been together for a long time. They loved each other. She loved him. He loved on her. But oh, baby, when he got with the one that he loved, oh, I'm thinking like it's nice he bought expensive purses and jewelry. No, he was buying vehicles, houses. He putting on social media how he love her. He tattooing up. It was different, and I'm thinking like this isn't the same. How it was when you were with in your other relationship. But I realized that's the difference. He loved her when he was in that relationship that he wanted to be in. Oh, it looked different. So, in talking with my friend, I said, has this happened to you a lot where you've had to have the conversation with women and explain to them that you guys aren't together, but you guys are just friends? He said, yeah, that happens to me a lot. I said, I get it. I understand it. I can understand how that happens to you a lot because he is a good guy. He's a gentleman and, like I said, easy to talk to. Somebody who can bounce ideas off of, somebody that can make you laugh. He's attractive. And if I was going out with him and doing things like that, I would think I was in a relationship with him. But he's a good friend to women. So a lot of times when women talking to a guy every day, you're giving your all and you're telling them everything that happened with you and everything happened with your children and on your job. And, you might hear a little bit about what's happening in his life and what's going on in his job and health conditions. Sorry, myself. Thought I put my phone on silent and I didn't. Then you assume like that's the relationship because by all accounts, that's what it looks like. We're sharing each other's, ideas and feelings and thoughts until you see that joker really in a relationship. So when I asked him, has that happened to him a lot? He said, yeah. He said he's even dated women who said, well, why you ain't post me on your social media? He's like, I don't do that. They said, you posted your wife. I said, that was my wife. That's different. I post my wife. And that once again clicked. Like, you may think that you guys are together, but no, you haven't seen when he's with someone. Not just when you guys are together, but when he steps with someone. I had a conversation with my cousin. Hey, Erica. Guess who? Erica's kind of one of those people I bounce ideas off of too. Her, and my mom. Lord knows, my mama probably tired of me talking to her. By the way, she still ain't coming on yet. I'm trying to wear it down. But those are the two I kind of just bounce ideas off of, every now and again. Like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So Erica and I were having a conversation about someone we know, and I said, I don't know how he was with his first wife, but how is he? I see how he is with the second wife. She said, well, I don't really know how he was with the first wife. She said, why? What's the difference? How is he with the second wife? So, baby, he posts like vacation pictures, how much you love her, birthday, I love you, happy birthday, this, that, and the other. My wife will say happy birthday to my wife, blah, 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 blah. We on vacation, or we ate this, we drank this, this is what we wore. I want to take pictures of her. And I said, you know what? Men step different for the woman that they love versus the one that loved them. They step different. And now I'm understanding how me, and some of y'all too, probably, have confused being in a relationship with the situationship that you're in. Just because you all lay up at each other's house, and when I say lay up, that's an old country term, meaning y'all having sex, at each other's house 2, 3 times a week, or you all go out to eat every now and again, or you meet for lunch, every week, or you may, hell, in my case, go on trips together, does not mean you are together. I had a a friendship where we was doing that. We met for lunch every week. I go to his house, he come to my house, blah blah blah. We cook, blah blah blah. Even to the point where his best friend said, "Y'all go together." That's a cute term, ain't that cute? We go together. And he said, "No, we don't." And he was like, "Yeah, y'all do. Y'all buy each other stuff for your birthdays, and this, that, and the other. And, you know, y'all go together. Y'all go on trips." And he was like, "No, we don't." Now, by all accounts, we going on trips together and we buying each other birthday gifts and we meet for lunch every week and we, at each other's house 2 or 3 times a week and, we go out together and laugh and talk every day and text each other throughout the day. You think we together. But when he said, no, no, we not, I'm like, really? So to dig a little deeper to find out, I asked him like about how it was with his previous relationship, his long-term relationship. And yeah, he stepped different. He steps different. Yeah, we going on the, a little trip to the movies. That's nothing like y'all going to the Dominican Republic. You with the one you love. I ain't get taken on no cruise. You with the one you love, you taking her on the cruise. Y'all putting y'all money together. You guys are doing business together. That's the difference. How men act when they're with the one that they love versus the one that's loving on them. And they'll be accepting of the love because what person is going to reject someone loving them? Like, what person is going to say, hey, girl, I know you loving on me, but, you going to keep that to yourself. No, you ain't got to spend time with me. No, you ain't got to be nice to me. No, you don't have to cook for me. No, you don't have to come over. No, you ain't got to get naked and, do your little freak thing for me. No, you don't have to do that. Nobody. But it's different when you're saying, hey, do you got a babysitter? Can you get a babysitter for the weekend? I'm gonna book us a place. Let's go away. Hey, you want to go to Vegas? We can go to Vegas. Can you get a few days off from work? That's the difference because I really thought I was in one. I thought I met the kids. I met the kids. I met the family. I could pop up at the house. Like when you feel like you can pop up at a man's house, you feel like you in. I don't mean like you don't have to call and like, hey, I want to come over. You can pop up. So you popping up, and it's never any drama about you popping up. He didn't give you that, hey, you can't pop up at my place. You feel like you in there. Now, I will say this, and I hope he ain't watching or listening. He might be. If not, I'll tell him. When I did pop up, I was still like check the shower to see if somebody left body and Bath and Body Works or some kind of shampoo. If it was some motions in there, look under the cabinet. Oh my iron. Look under the cabinet to see if somebody left a little, some shea butter. If some left a little hair or something there, checking to see. but I never did. Or, I came over early in the morning, or in the afternoon. If he had me go in the room, go get my wallet out of the room. Like, okay, I look to see if it's two pillows, two head prints in the pillow, just in case, just, just in case, because just a woman, being a woman, shared experiences. But I didn't find anything. But just because you didn't find anything don't mean it wasn't anything to find. I told him that too. I told him, I said, every time I go over here, I check and look to see if there's something, blah, 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 blah. He said, how long have you been doing this? I said, probably about a year or so. He said, yeah, what you find? I said, nothing. He said, well, if you haven't found anything, maybe there's nothing to find. I was like, oh, okay. Put it at ease because I'm thinking we in a relationship. It took the next man who I dated after that one to tell me it wasn't really a relationship. And this is how he broke it down. And this is when I learned sometimes you have to listen to what's not said to hear what you need to hear. After that relationship ended, because he had other women that were friends and other blah blah blah, and I, have a little insecurity. That's probably why I was looking in that daggone shower to see if there's some motion shampoo in there. And the guy that I dated after that told me, he said, "So you knew he had other women that he talked to?" I said, "Yeah, I knew. I knew he had other women, female friends. Yeah." And he said, "And they never came to the house." I said, "No, he told me they don't come to the house." He said they hadn't met your kids. He hadn't met his kids. I said, no, they hadn't met his kids. I had met the kids, so they hadn't met the kids. He said, and you didn't run across him. I said, no. He told me I didn't run across him. He don't go out with him like that. He don't do that kind of stuff. That's not the women that he know. That they're his friends. They don't come over. He don't go out with them. He asked me, "Do you have any male friends?" So I got a bunch of them. He said, "Count them." So I was counting like, and he said, "Do they come to your house?" I was like, "No." He said, "Have you met your children?" I was like, "Hell no." He says, "They can't just pop up?" I said, "No." He said, "Y'all go out to dinner?" I was like, "No." He said, "What do you do with them?" He said, "These men that you have slept with?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "There you go." He said, "If this man was telling you he had women, they don't come to his house, they don't meet his children, they don't go out to dinner, what else is there to do?" I was like, "Oh." He said he was telling you. You just wasn't listening. That was a valuable lesson. I was like, "Oh." And then he asked me, "Did you all ever have the conversation that you're only seeing each other?" And I was like, "No, but I just thought that, because I'm seeing him and I'm only seeing him, so I thought while I was." And I said, meeting the kids and we going out of town and this and that, and we going out and went to a place one time. We went to a little outing. We dressed alike in our little colors and stuff. We in the same color like Will and Jada. Well, not Will and Jada. That one. Will and Jada is not a good example to use. Okay, like Barack and Michelle. We coordinating. We're coordinating the clothes. We just like Barack and Michelle. And not Will and Jada. However, I understand Will and Jada's relationship after I read her book. It ain't that bad. But I'm thinking like we together, we locked in like that. And he was like, until you have had that conversation that you are with me and I'm with you and we're only seeing each other and there's nobody else, y'all just talking. And I was like, what? He said, y'all was just talking. And I was like, okay, I get it. So I understand how a lot of times we as women and men, if that's what men go through too, that's why we think we're in these relationships. I have another friend that I talk to, and he told me, I talk to him on occasion every now and again, and he says, occasionally he goes and go have a drink at his favorite place where he just kind of just unwind, and he knows people who there frequent it quite often. And when that happens, sometimes someone he knows comes and sits next to him, and he has a conversation with him because he's a friendly guy, very talkative, great conversation, good conversationalist. And he's been questioned on more than one occasion about women who sit next to him. And like, "Oh, you seeing her?" And he said, Alyssa, it's so weird for them to even ask me that because I'm not seeing them. Like I'm not seeing these women who are asking me this question. They've even asked me about my cousins sitting next to me. They don't know that that's my cousin, and they're asking about a woman sitting next to me. I said, well, that's because they see the potential. Women see the potential of maybe I want to see him or I'm feeling something for him, but women give off a dog whistle to each other. And I've had this conversation with more than a few men. When you have a friend, guy, person you're dating, situationship, relationship, husband, boyfriend, jump off, whatever, side piece, whatever he is to you, and he puts something on social media, and there's a woman who always loves it, likes it, comments, always. That's not for him. That's for every other woman. It's a deterrent. It is a I'm present, I'm here for other women. It's a dog whistle to other women. Poor men. Men are so blind, so deaf, totally unaware of it. But they're not supposed to. I've had this conversation with quite a few men, and they go like, "I ain't paying no attention to that. I put it up, and I'm not paying attention to who like it, and okay, so this person likes it all the time. So what? What does that mean?" To men, that means nothing. To a woman, that's equivalent to a dog pissing on a tree. That's marking territory. It is a vibe, social media vibe to give off of, that's my man. I'm here. I'm someone important. Even if they aren't, because 9 times out of 10 they aren't. Because if you sitting there and you post liking everything that a man posts, you ain't important because you can easily text him like, oh, that's cool. And leave it at that. You don't have to like and love everything. That's just how I go. But I explained this to my friend recently, and he was like, you know what? I've been asked about that a few times. I said, I bet you have. I bet you have. I bet you have. He says, and that's why I'm off social media because of things like that, which broke my heart. And I told him that. He says, why does that break your heart? And I said, because a lot of the posts that you made were entertaining or educational. And because of the backlash that happens, because someone's in their feelings or they're trying to give a dog whistle or they're trying to, deter other women, go Lions. Um, you have now resorted to not sharing your thoughts and feelings and beliefs and ideas and educating or entertaining all the rest of us. Kind of a shame. But that's what happens when people thinking they're in a relationship and you just in a situationship. Sometimes it's not even a situationship. Sometimes it's just a friendship. Sometimes they're just your friend and they talk to you and they're just nice and they're just considerate and they're not trying to go further than where they are. That's just it. But I wanted to do this episode because I've been there. And I know a lot of other women have been there where you're thinking you're with someone and you're not. Oh, well, you are. I shouldn't say it that way. They not with you. Because he wasn't with me. The kids was with me. Not necessarily him. Even the dog loved me. And I love the dog too. I did get that dog tummy scratches. I love the dog. But that's what happens when you don't have that conversation to establish, are we in a relationship? Are we in a situationship? And what does that look like to you? Like if you are in a relationship, sir, tell me, what does that look like to you? When you love a woman, how does that look? I had to talk to a friend today. Told me he got engaged. Congratulations. Because I mean, I wanted to be happy. And I even asked him, like, what is it different? He said, oh, this is different. The feeling is just different. Like, you willing to do whatever. You want to make her happy. You make her a priority. You want, that's the feeling different from when he's been loved on. Because I told myself, I'm sure you've been loved a lot. And he has. He's been loved a lot by a lot of different people. I don't mean it in that way. I mean he's a good guy. So I mean a lot of people had a crush on him. I know. I've been knowing him a long time, so I know growing up when we were younger, a lot of people had crushes on him. So I had to ask him about that. But now that he's engaged, like, why is this one different from all of the other women you've encountered, from women that you've dated? Why is this one different? And he said, because she checks the boxes that are important to me. She is, she rubs the shoulders. He rubs my shoulders when I'm carrying the world on my shoulders. And that makes me feel better. I was like, oh, can I steal that? Can I steal that? He said, yeah, you can. And I did. So I'm putting that out there. So I know he'll probably listen. I'll send him the clip. But I just wanted to do that because it's now that I've thrown this out there, I want men, because I talked to my brother about this before I did this episode, because this is from a woman's perspective. But I do want to know, men, when you find a woman that you love versus the woman that loves you, what makes you step differently? What do you do? Why is it above and beyond? Because it's a difference between buying a woman a purse and buying a woman a truck. That looks different. It's different from you buying a woman some furniture and you buying her a whole house. At what point is it that you go, I love her? How is that different? What is the feeling? And have you ever been misleading a woman? Because if thinking she's in a relationship and you're not, and if so, why you don't tell her? And if not, when did you find out that you were? So this is a short episode. I wasn't going to go too long, but I did want to touch on this. Once again, this is Elissa with the Dick and Conversation podcast. You're probably listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, or Spotify, or looking at me on YouTube. I have my messy bun today because it's messy. Well, I'm trying to keep a little uniform to the messiness. But my socials, once again, Instagram is Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My Facebook page is Dick and Conversation podcast Facebook page. My Blue Sky, Dick and Convo, bsky dot social. My email is dickandconvo at gmail.com. And the tube of you, my YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe. Because I always forget to do that, is the Dick and Conversation Podcast channel. Once again, this is Elissa. Thank you for joining me. trying to add trying to add the little sound effects. I'll see you next time.